Thank you, Maura, for all the input, and thank you all for your interaction and for trying to defend your opinion. I can see good argumentation and debate skills among you, which is really good, because sometimes when you put yourself in the position of the applicant, you should be able to convince others in a respectful way, in a manner that would lead them towards a common goal. And as Dora mentioned in the chat box, the applicant seems more as a coordinator in this scenario. So, and it requires a lot of patience and good communication skills. All right, so now my role will be to share with you some cool tips about evaluation, but more in a more practical way. I will not go over all the activities that I have designed for today's session, but I will pick some of the main ones. So if you remember at the very beginning, in webinar number 0, you had this activity and you were asked to put your answers in different boxes according to how you feel about a certain skill, either in the comfort zone, in the learning zone, in the panic zone. So to see to what extent you have been able to develop these capacities for the past few weeks, I created a Mentimeter link that I will share with you that includes the first 2 questions. And I would like you to pick the category that you feel that you are more comfortable with or that aligns with your capacities. So the first thing is I'll share with you my screen so we can see the options that you select. Give me 1 second. There you go. So if you can choose your choice. Okay. Great. So 3 people so far agree that creating a narrative report is in the learning zone. And for 2, it's more of a comfort zone. That's great. And 5 people so far believe that creating a narrative report is something that they can do, but they still need some support in. 7 people agree that the writing of or the creation of a narrative report is something that they can do, but they still need a little bit of support in. And 3 people agree that it is in their comfort zone. So this is great. The fact that you have some certain capacity or let's say courage to create your narrative report by yourself is something really, really good. Now I would like you to move to the next question. And here I'll just share with you again another link where you can choose your answers. So this is the link. Please click on it again and choose your zone. Okay. Can you raise your hand, your virtual hand, if you choose your zone? Okay, good. And I will present the results. Again, these answers are very satisfying because I can see that 5 participants see that arranging logistics for work camps or trainings is something that they can do by themselves, which is really good. And 5 believe that they can still need some support in this task, which is also really good because that also shows that you are willing to work together as a team to achieve a common goal. So I would like to ask you to go and click on the second question. Move to the second question, which says defining aims, objectives, and learnings. And I will just share my screen with you again. And you can click whether it's in your comfort zone, your learning zone, or in the panic zone. Good, I can see that 2 people are very comfortable to define aims, objectives, and learning outcomes by themselves. 4, good. 5 people, nice. 1 person believes that it's still in the learning zone. That's also really good because again, it just shows that you are humble to learn, humble to ask for support from other people, and 7 people so far believe that they can do it by themselves. Congratulations. This is so satisfying and I'm really happy to hear that. It just shows that you were able to take as much learning from these trainings. So we have one last question, or 2 questions actually, and I will just share again the link in the chat box and do the same again. And also for our followers on Facebook, feel free to write your answers in the chat box to what extent these webinars have helped you to develop these capacities. And here we have a question that asks to whether you feel comfortable enough to identify the resources for a project. And these are either the trainers, the project creators, or anybody basically that you need in order to create or to identify the resources for a project. 2 people believe that it's something that they can do by themselves. 3 people, and we have equal number of votes. 4, that's great. So identifying the resources for a project is part of the planning again, and it's very important to pay attention to that. 5 people think it's in their comfort zone, that they can do it by themselves, and 5 people still believe that they need some support in order to succeed in that task. Great. Can you please move to the second question? And the second question says, finding international partners and grants for your project. This is again a very important component of any work camp or activity. And we will see to what extent or which zone you belong to. So far, 3 people believe that they can do it, but they just need a little bit of support in it. 3 people believe that they can do it. 5 participants so far. 6 participants think that they can do it all by themselves. And I would just like to highlight again that finding international partners that are willing to support and to help as much as possible with the program is very important. And the grants, of course, it's important in order to implement the projects. So that's great. We did not see any participant in the panic zone. So congratulations to you all for taking as many learnings from these webinars. I'm so happy, and I would love us to be updated about the projects that you implement within your organizations. So now I would like to invite you to a group activity. It's more of a sharing activity. And this will allow us to get your feedback about the things that you really enjoyed during these webinars and the things that we could improve. And these questions are for the evaluation and also to get your candid feedback, because you are an important part of this project, and without you, we wouldn't have been able to do it. So the activity is as follows. You each have 1 flower and 1 thorn. A flower is something that you really enjoyed during this webinar, something that you really liked and you really appreciated. A thorn is something that you wish did not happen in the project, or something that could be improved in the future. So everyone here has a flower and a thorn, and you can have as many flowers and thorns as you want. What counts for us is to get your feedback and to know your opinion. And we can do this in a popcorn style. Whoever goes first, whoever unmutes his or her mic first, will share first. And for the followers on Facebook, if you were able to attend these webinars. Please also write in the chat box something that you really liked or something that we could improve as a team. Your feedback is very important for improvement. Who would like to go first? The famous question. So the instructions again, a flower and a thorn. A flower is something that you really, really liked. A thorn is something that could be improved. Or maybe I can give you a minute to think, Safa.
I'm going first.
Good.
Thank you. So about my flower, I'm gonna give it to today's activity with Moro. I really enjoy it about choosing between A and B, and actually what I can say is I get a good experience, and I get a lot of informations like if I was in this case, what I will do. Besides, to think now for this case, not when I'm in trouble, I'm gonna just stay freezing and do not know what I'm gonna do. Moro help us today really so much about thinking from now. Um, that's what I can say. The webinars, all the webinars are just great, and we took a lot of experience, information, and we meet a great people. So that's why I can really thank you for this opportunity, and it was fun. uh, I'm really sad to say that this is the last webinar together. So that's all about what we can improve. Actually, I didn't see something that need to improve. All the webinars were just great, and the people were doing good. So that's all I can say.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Safa, for your heartwarming feedback. We appreciate that, especially that it was fun. That's one of the goals that we had.
It was really, really fun. I enjoyed for myself. I really enjoyed. I get a great experience, which we hope that we can meet in other webinars uh, in the future.
Hopefully. Thank you. Now we move
Welcome.
to the second participant. Cynthia, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Well, I learned a lot of things about the project here, and I appreciate everyone for their intelligence and support. For me, initially it was a little bit fidgeting for me from the beginning, but as time goes on, I follow suit, you know, and I like it because I learned that a project is not something that you can do alone. You must have partners. Before I never knew that, so it's a good thing for me, and I will also want to appreciate if there is another program coming up to be included. So I thank all the coordinators. At least it was well explained and well understood from everything you did. Yeah, I understood everything very well. Like I said earlier before now, I appreciate it. Okay, so
And what about something that could be improved?
sorry.
Something that could be improved in the future, something that you didn't really like or something that we
No,
could
no,
have
no,
done.
no, no, no. The platform is very nice. There's nothing to be improved. I like like I said, the organizers and the partners, everything was fine. You organize it very well because in every layman, you organize it like a layman understanding. Everybody can understand it, all right? It's not something of very technical that is very difficult for everyone to understand. That's what I'm trying to. Maybe I didn't express it very well, but you can understand what I mean. So it's very, very, very. I like it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all your contributions and for your feedback. Linus would like to go next. The floor is yours.
Yes. I also want to appreciate some of the presenters, Mauro and his team. I think I know you've done a very good job, and we understood And now we are quite conversant about the topic you guys were presenting. And the only probably thing is that when it comes to timings, because let's say Africa, it's around, you start around 3 to probably 5, which is a bit a tricky time for us. That's why I would come to the meetings a bit late, because I'm trying to catch up and see how to get home before the meeting ends. But otherwise, things are okay, and we appreciate. Keep it up.
Thank you very much. And time, of course, is a challenge because we need to make sure that it's available for everybody. Thank you very much for your feedback. Kimba Bazi, you can go next.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. It has really been a good session. And mostly this has been the best. If I'm to grade, this has been my best session. I would always find challenges here and then. Maybe the network is off, I can hardly hear someone. But Khadija and Mauro, I can say you have been audible all through. And I thank you. What I feel has been left out in all these webinars, I thought as when people are involved in project management, it is also important to look at sustainability of the project. If we have done the evaluation, we have done the planning, the monitoring, the evaluation. So what happens after that? How sustainable is the project? So I expected something, it would have been brief, but I expected something on sustainability. Then other thing is, as we went through the session and actually the previous sessions, I think if I've not forgotten, it was handled by Mauro. And I want to appreciate that session of the session about project cycle, that we need to identify the needs of the community before we even think about writing a project. My observation is sometimes people rush into finding grants. They look for grants. After they've won the grant, then they sit down and start saying, now what do we do? You find that even at a time of actually championing the whole project, they are not even sure of what they can do within the project and what they can't do. I appreciate that, and I think it takes me back to revising most of the things we do as an organization, and of course improving on what we do every day. Then
thank you so much.
One point is sometimes you may be constrained financially. You want to bring the entire team on board, but we cannot shy away to the fact that whoever you take to the field expects something. So I would wish to know, in cases like this, where you need to have more people involved, but you cannot meet the financial obligation, what do you advise the participants? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Your feedback is full of many relevant points. And to just answer your first question about sustainability, I think it's up to the participants now to implement the learnings from these webinars to try to start an activity within their communities or a micro project. And we will be here available to answer your questions in the meantime if you need resources to implement these actions. So sustainability is at the heart of this project, because it's not just about giving the theory or the theoretical knowledge, but it's also about pushing and encouraging the participants to implement something within their organizations, within their communities. And about the grants, you're totally right. And I'm just happy that this point was raised many times during these webinars. It's very, very important to identify the needs of the community. Otherwise, you'll just be replicating a project that took place in another continent or another context, and it does not serve the needs of the community. About your last question, if you don't have enough financial resources to include all the participants, you can invite them to attend. If it's just a project they can attend on a voluntary basis, because learning itself is precious. So we should motivate the participants to think from this perspective, that taking part in an activity and attending the learn and acquiring the learnings is also very, very precious. And in the future, if you have additional resources, you can give them some rewards, or in the meantime, when you don't have resources, you can either motivate them by giving them certificates, by writing recommendation letters, or any other source of incentive that you have, maybe to encourage them by sharing their picture and the statement in social media. So these are ways to motivate the participants. I hope that answers your question.
Sorry, Khadija, just 2 cents to comment about financing. No pun intended. And actually, this is a very relevant point, and I think that in the future, maybe we can propose more webinars or more meeting to talk about fundraising and crowdfunding. Actually, we wanted to tackle these points, but of course, 4 webinars are not enough. But also CCIVS has gaining more experience also in this field. So I think that now time is ripe enough to propose something like this in the future. I cannot tell you when precisely, but we are getting knowledge and skills also in this field. And it's very much important also for the partners and organizations in other continents, because in a way we in Europe are privileged because we have the Erasmus Plus and European Youth Foundation, and we can apply. But not all the countries in the world can have access to this. So it's very important also to find ways to collect funds for our project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mauro. And thank you again, Kimbabazi. Abdu is raising his hand, so the floor is yours.
Thank you, Khadija. So my flower is about the precision of the modules, and the activities are diverse. So I didn't know that we could do a team building online. I didn't know it. So I really like it. I really love it. And for about a storm, I can't find one because the exchange was interactive, and I really liked the session. All the trainers were excellent. I appreciate. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And the team building activities is something that we also learned and we keep learning about, especially in the online platform. So thank you so much for your candid feedback. We appreciate that. Who would like to go next? Antonella, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. So I really enjoyed it meetings because we discover new things every time, and for me it was very good because, as I told you many times, I wrote a project, but it was not a good experience for me because it was the first one, without help. So, but I think it was also useful to understand how the things works at the end. So it was also useful for these, and I wanted to thanks to you for these webinars. That was amazing for me. And maybe something that it could be improved for the next times, maybe to have more time, because I know that this is not your fault. You try to do your best, and you did, but maybe it could be better to have more time to discuss at the end. And also, I'm sorry if sometimes I left before the end, but I had other things for work to do. So also for this, it was I was disappointment also with myself because I had to go. But yeah, maybe this is just the small things that I would change. But thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much for you've been active throughout these webinars, and we really appreciate your presence. and your encouragement as well. So for the time, we tried to just limit it to 2 hours because we know that the attention span is also limited. So we tried to not to make it too long, not to bore the participants. So maybe due to the time limit, we can go for one more participant, and then I will just share with you something that you can do after. Yeah, Hamza.
Oh, thank you, Khadija. So actually, at the end of this seminar, I just need a very big flower to give it to the team of the trainers, and at the same time to the participants for this nice journey. Actually, I really enjoyed and learned a lot, especially with this the practical with the exercises. It's really actually I touched the change after this implementing in the same session what we were learning about. Something to improve actually with this model or with this formula. I think it was perfect, but maybe the participants that we share that maybe the next time we can have it physical, and I think this is the wish and the dream for all of us. So thank you very much for the whole effort.
Thank you so much, Hamza, and we really hope that we can implement this activity in person and get the chance to meet you as well and have more time to interact and exchange. I was hoping we can do this activity here together, but to give you more time to reflect on your experience, I just shared with you a link to a Jamboard, and I'll share with you my screen to just explain what it is. So here you have a hand, obviously, and inside each finger we have a statement. So here you bring a post-it and you try to write something you will share with the members of your organization. And this is also to assure the sustainability of the project and the learnings. And we have here 20 slides. You just go click until you find your name and you put your remarks inside it. So here, something that you did not expect to happen and it did, something positive or negative, it's up to you. Something that you will miss the most. And for me, I will miss your beautiful faces and smiles and your active interaction during the session. Something that you wish you had more of, a memory that you will keep. And it's very simple. You just write here a memory that you will keep, maybe connections with the participants. And this is just an example. And you bring it here. And you do the same thing for the other remaining fingers. And we will make sure to read your notes following today's session, because your feedback, again, is what makes this experience a learning journey. And before I give the floor back to Mauro, I would like to thank each and every one of you for being here, actively sharing and exchanging. And I would like to thank everyone who contributed to the success of this project, people who are working behind the scenes to make sure that this is happening, and to just appreciate and be grateful for being here with you, because it means a lot. And I would like to give the floor back to Mauro before I start crying, because I hate endings. So Mauro, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Khadija. So this is the end, but before ending, final announcement. So with the team, we are going to meet in order to create some final reading material, which will include recommendations and guidelines regarding each webinar. It will be a very compact, just one-page document that will help you understand what we discussed and the major learning outcomes, and some tips and recommendations for each topic that we tackle, from project coordination, project writing, evaluation, and monitoring. I think it will be quite useful for you, so you can make a recap of everything that we dealt with. This was one thing. The other thing is that actually the Empowering Youth project is a multi-activity project. So this was just one activity. There are other activities going on. The next activity will be a training for trainers. Okay, it was meant to happen real life in Morocco at the end of May. I am so sad that I cannot go to Morocco to see my friends and Khadija, because the hosting organization was also an organization of friends, which I met them 3 years ago, and I was looking forward to meeting them again. Unfortunately, we cannot organize it there anymore. So we are forced to turn it into an online event, but it will have also some offline activity. So the idea, because we are finalizing this idea, is that in May or June, probably in May, we will propose an online training for trainers. And this training will focus on skills and coordination skills, coordination knowledge for a coordinator of WordCamps, training, seminars. So it will be very, very specific. We will talk about communication, about games, energizers, conflict resolution, how to promote intercultural dialogue in this kind of environment. And it will be, I think, 2 or 3 days or something very compact. And then each partner of empowering youth will go on with local activities. So you will have the possibility to join also this training for trainers. Probably we will open it also to other participants. But if you're still interested, yes, you can go on with the learning process by joining this training for trainers, and then you will be involved at local level by your organizations. And then, of course, your organization will keep you involved in other tasks. There will be the possibility to put into practice the skills that you gain and the knowledge that you gain through these webinars. So the journey will continue, and we will keep you informed. For sure, the next activity will be this, the training for trainers and the possibility to continue with your local organizations. And we are finalizing also the digital platform, which is another platform that we will use to communicate. So it is something new that we will share with you. Plus, there is still a final conference that we are organizing in June to showcase the final result of this Empowering Youth project. And we will also include this webinar result. And then if COVID will give us a loan, maybe there is opportunity also to be involved in the local action of your partners. That means WordCamps, but it depends on the situation in each countries in July and August. So we will see how things will develop. If your partners will be able to organize some local activities, you can be involved also in these local activities as coordinator, organizer, promoter. We will see how. So keep in touch. Amy will go on. This was just the end of one activity. It is not the end of the journey. So that's all from me. I leave the floor also to Tile, Khadija, Kat, if you want to say the last words to the group. For me, it was a wonderful experience. I learned a lot. It was hard to coordinate and to organize it, but the team was fantastic. CCIVS supported us in an excellent way. So I would also wish to thank Julia for her constant and very patient support, and also Link behind the curtain, and all the other staff of CCIVS, starting from Vicky and Lindberg and the president, Ingrid, everybody in the board. It was a really successful experience, and we are all very glad of this teamwork. And then I leave the floor to Khadija, Kat, and Tila for the last announcement, and then let's see if we are lucky and if we are able this time to show the credits with the music, where you can read all the people involved in the project from the very beginning. It's a scrolling credit like the Hollywood movies. We wanted to show this from webinar number 1, but there were always some obstacles. So we really think that this time we manage, and we will show this rolling credits. Okay, this is the end from my side. I really thank you from my heart. It was really an amazing experience. Thank you.
Kat, would you like to go first, or Tilly?
Yes, I can go. Thank you. So yeah, first, thanks to the team. It was really nice experience to work and prepare everything and meet for this month and the previous. You become like a family to me, so thanks for this opportunity. And for the participants, thank you for all the time, the active participation and interesting inputs, because as trainers, we are trying to share our knowledge, but we learn a lot from you as well as participants and from your different contexts and from experiences all over the world. And thank you for sharing this in this beautiful environment that we created together.
So we'll go and leave Khadija close. Also, thank you from my side. I will not say much. It's been really a pleasure to work with you and also with the team, having the chance to also work with people that I haven't worked before. It was very smooth and nice, and I'm very honored. And yeah, I will not take more of your time. And yeah, thank you very much for joining and for keep joining. I know it's very hard to do that, so it's really appreciated that you kept joining every webinar and you were here.
Well, I won't say much. I would just like to mention that in moments of crisis, such as the pandemic, it's always important to stay connected with people who give you positive energy, with people who remind you that you can still do something great despite the challenges. So thank you for always reminding me. Thank you for making my Wednesdays afternoons full of life and energy. And I cannot wait to see what you accomplish in the near future and what you implement from these trainings, either on your personal or professional life. I wish you the very best of luck and stay safe and happy and passionate about what you're doing, because it's very important to have passion in life. So thank you.
It's happening. Mauro.